Welcome back to Newsmaker Live, and thank you very much for joining us for the program. We're here with Michael Chastanet, and many of you are familiar with the name. Some of you may not have known that he was involved in shipping before he decided to ground himself and plant his roots back at home. And, you know, very interesting stories that you shared with us. Now let's go back to your businesses. Now, and you saw the vision.
Yes.
You always say that you are one who works hard.
Yes.
And you don't just work hard. There is a system.
Oh, yes.
To your hard work, because you also love what you do.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
You have to love what you do. My advice to anybody, those who want to believe it tonight, can freely do so. Do not go into anything you do not love. It's not going to be successful. Because when you wake up in the morning and you say, look at me, I'm going to do this here because I love it. Don't say, I'm getting up this morning and I'm going to do it. You know, that's a damn job. I have to go to, it's a pain in the ass. I have to go there. That's not going to work, yeah. And I have found that that is where I consider myself fortunate, and that's where my wealth came from. Not from money, but from blessed with the love of doing business, or doing things that I love. And it really, really has paid dividends. There's no question at all about it.
Now, I've interacted with you on a few occasions, and what I notice about you more than anything else is that it does not matter how successful you are. You seem to be the most down-to-earth person, the most affable person, you know, easy to communicate with, easy to reach. And I mean, why is that? Does that come from just who you are, or does it come from the interactions you've had, you know, probably in the shipping business, traveling around the world, meeting different people from different cultures, you know, speaking the various languages and having to work closely with them?
You know, Clinton, when I came here tonight, I told you something about yourself. I said you're going to be a very successful host. And I'm going to tell the people something. So one, because...
You're making me blush.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Because you're a very patient guy, and you're a very good-looking guy. And that goes well with the job. But what makes me say that is what you just said to me. What makes me so natural with people? You have spotted that because you didn't know me that well, but you have realized it. Right. And you are so correct. I'll give you a couple of reasons why it's that way. When you're in business, people believe that because you may own a business or have shares in it, that you can do what you want. You cannot. Remember, the customer is always right. In the shipping business, one of my biggest problems were dealing with surveyors, because surveyors are human beings, but they have a whip over your head. They can control you and they can do many things to you. A ship has about 14 certificates. And let me tell you something. If every certificate is not in order, that ship can't move. So you have to learn to work with people. So, but I think by nature, from the time I was at school, I got on very well with people. But I believe in being respectful to people. And another thing which I think has contributed towards that is the fact that no matter who you are and what you are in life, you don't know everything. I have, for instance, maybe some staff, some maintenance guys who work with me for 10, 12, 13 years. They don't have any great level of education, but they come home and report every morning of the things they have to do. And I sit down and have discussions, and I said, you know, I want to do so and so. What do you think about it? You'd be surprised to know what their contribution means. Because these fellows walk around and they hear people say things. I'll give you an example, for instance. I may say to them, you know, guys, and call them things. We go to the supermarket, and I said, I don't like the lighting outside. Do you think I should put some more lighting in the parking area? Should I have some more security? Mr. Chastanet, I think you better do that. And they give me the reason. And these are ordinary guys. So that is one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is, you know, take a person like Clinton Reynolds. He calls me on my cell. A lot of people don't give you their cell.
Right.
My cell, I sleep with it. You can get me 24 hours a day. Because, you know, with the businesses I'm in, you never can tell what can happen. Right. It could be a disaster somewhere, you know, and have trained myself, especially in the shipping days, remaining in shipping for 25 years, that, you know, you are on call 24 hours a day. I mean, I'll never forget once we had a ship leaving Mobile, Alabama, heading down to the Dominican Republic. And I got a call around 2 o'clock in the afternoon that the ship was encountering some difficulties. And the captain said that he's going to go into Tampa to check on it. Lo and behold, I said, okay. I had a single sideman radio, said, call me for anything. He never called again. I assume everything was okay. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I got a call, believe it or not, from Falmouth Radio in England, saying, are you the owner of such and such a vessel? I said, yeah. He said, well, it just sank.
Wow.
In the Gulf of Mexico. And the Coast Guard didn't pick it up. And can you imagine that they called the Coast Guard sent out an aircraft, they dropped a blip in the water because the captain gave the latitude and longitude, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning the Coast Guard sent a plane out, and from the signals from that, the lifeboat was in the air and they picked up all the guys.
Wow.
Yeah, so you see, after you have done something for 40, 35 years, you know, it really is interesting to know that you have to be alert. And then, you know, having worked with 170 crewmen for all these years, you know, and these guys are really your right-hand men. You got to love people. And I always say in life, I have no enemies. I have none. If I'm an enemy to somebody, well, so be it. But I don't hold grudges. It's not worth it because life is too short. And that has been the pattern of my life. Yeah.
Now, I mean, let's look at some of your businesses, the supermarkets, for example, and you know, Super J is well known. This is the largest supermarket chain that we have on the island, and you have, you know, Mega J's. You had Big J's in Cul-de-sac at one point. This was not your area.
No, it wasn't.
But then you gravitated towards it, and then you have mastered.
Okay. Well, again, you see, that comes to people. Let me say something to you. When I built the first shopping center, which was Gablewoods,
right,
I had 40 shops and one supermarket. And no merchants in St. Lucia wanted to rent the supermarket from me. I tried everything. So when the place was about to be opened up, and I said, well, gentlemen, I have to get a supermarket in there. So I went to Barbados and I got a Bajan to come in. And that's how we got the name Julian's.
Right.
Okay? He came over and he did the supermarket. Do you know, that was the undoing of many of the St. Lucian people. Because when this guy came, he built something, a glitzy supermarket. And I remember when that supermarket opened up, we had to call police to control the crowd there. So actually the supermarket made the mall a success.
Right.
Right? And the guy stayed here for 2 years and he was very efficient. But then you talk of people. He was a short guy. He had what they call the short man syndrome. He was arrogant and he was not nice, but he ran a good business. And he had there were 2 incidents where people got chopped up on their way to the bank because he used to send the funds in. Instead of giving the funds to Brinks or somebody, he gave it to Brinks, but he insisted that his managers travel in the van. And they overturned the van twice or something like that, and they stole the money, and the men got hurt. So he said he's leaving St. Lucia. And I said, well, don't do that. And that was about the 4th of December one year. And everybody's looking for to shop. And he just said he's going. Anyway, I begged and begged. So finally, he closed the supermarket. And the mall was going to fail. And I said no. So I found out, I had a cousin in Central called Andre Chastanet. And called him, and he's an accountant. And he looked at it and he said, you know, you're making a mistake because this is not out of your field. I said, look, if I don't get the supermarket, the mall will fail. To make a long story short, I brought him in, made him my partner, and Oswald Augustine, the 2 of them, partners. We went into the business. We ran it together. After 6 months, I saw especially Andre. Oswald did all the brokerage, which is important, comes into the customs, that kind of thing. And we ran the business. But the success of it, the idea may have been mine, but really it's Andre Chastanet, my cousin, who really pushes the market.
And he's the one who is the...
Yeah, he's the CEO of the company.
Right now.
And this guy loves what he's doing. So he comes back to that again. He got guys that work from 6 o'clock in the night till 9 in the night. He loves it. So he stayed there, he mastered the business, and the rest is history, okay? And we joined up with our different partners in St. Lucia, and we are where we are today. But you know, I don't go to the supermarkets at all. I'm a shareholder in the supermarket. I'm chairman of the company, but I get the minutes, I read them, and we have a board meeting every 3 months, and this is how we go. But again, luck and fortune that I met. If I had met somebody else, could have been a disaster. Just like when I went to Puerto Rico, I met a Spanish guy who was my partner. I was very fortunate to meet a guy. It's meeting people, but it comes back to one's personality, because people attract people. They are comfortable with people. You make people comfortable, and no matter what people say, I believe in that people share in life. See, today at Super J's, the staff, we have 1,300 people working, and 400 of them are shareholders. 400 are shareholders, okay? And they get their dividends, they get their accounts, so nobody can see. There you are.
Interesting. Now, Caribbean Metals is another one. I mean,
correct.
We know of the tin roofing that was very prevalent.
Correct.
You know, and it would corrode, and Caribbean Metals is operating and providing something that not only is durable, but it looks good. It's better than what you saw before.
It lasts 70 years. Yeah. The color will last 70 years. Again, what did I do? When I came back to St. Lucia, and I tried to get a steel building, I couldn't get one. They said I had to get a license. So I went to the government to get a license, and they said, well, you have to go to Mr. X and talk to him. And when I went to Mr. X, he said, well, you know, I can do the job here, but he had 2 little welders messing around, and he said, well, you know, I would make a 5% commission, so if you pay me 5% of what it's going to cost you, I will give you a letter, and you can go to the government, and on that strength that I got a license to bring in a steel structure. So when I sent in 2 buildings, the people said, well, look at me, we've been trying to come into St. Lucia for years, and we can't come in. So I went and I spoke to them, and they applied to the government, and the government gave them permission. We formed the company. Again, everybody at Caribbean Metals is a shareholder, 70 of them. But the main people is personalities. I met a man called Mr. Ralph Williams. As far as I'm concerned, he's the brightest man in the entire Caribbean. He's an engineer, extremely intelligent, honest guy, and what I learned from this man again, it's unbelievable. And he is the chairman of the company, right? And he's the major shareholder. We went in, when we first started the company, I owned 1/3, he owned 1/3, and the largest firm in England owned 1/3. So we were able to get the goods at a good price, very good connections, because these people have companies all over the world.
Right.
So Caribbean Metals again has been successful, and I'm only part of a team that has joined the success of those people, making Michael Chastanet look good, really, but really they're the ones that are doing the work.
Great, Mike. It's so good to hear that. And you know, you made a point a while ago that you're a jack of all trades. Now you'll have many solutions going to become jacks of all trades.
But they should master some.
They should master at least one. Well, we'll take a break right now. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. We want to talk next about the local economy, how he sees the economy, and also he is widely read. And if you look in local papers, you'll see that he writes prolifically as well. So stay with us. We'll discuss these issues with Mike Chastanet when we come.